Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since I posted a video, like always, but anyway, I just wanted to share something that I brought some light to myself to look at and think about. So it was really bothering me that a lot of people that I follow and listen to, and hearing about how the white hats are getting the hands and taking control of the cabal, which is awesome. It occurred to me through some of this information I was coming across that not a lot of people in Canada are awoken, which kind of heavies my heart because I'm Canadian. So I spent a lot of time really focusing and thinking on like reasons why other people are like so dumbed down and like not awoke. And it's like maybe it's through substances. That's one thing I want to kind of address is addiction. And then spending time with friends that are addicts and talking with them and realizing, because with my struggle with addictions, I was a drug addict, severely heavy into drugs, like since I was like 18, 19, maybe even younger than that. And an alcoholic too when I was younger. Um, but when I began my journey with addiction, it wasn't due to like death or loss or tragedy. It was like through fun, I guess, events like raves and clubbing and um, my best friend Michelle, who committed suicide, would have been maybe 6 years ago now, is when I fell flat on my face, like totally flat, heavy, severely sedated with drugs every day. Couldn't function unless if I had a high, unless if I had something to numb out the pain, to blind my mind from the fact she was there, to fill the void, the emptiness. You know the whole story. If you're an addict, you understand. But anyway, so I was talking to amongst my other friends, and all of them said it was due to losing a loved one because they're still struggling with addiction. And I've been trying to like share the information that I get or that I come across, and people just don't want to hear it. I don't know why. I don't know what I have to say for them to like to click that light bulb on and allow themselves to at least realize some of the shit that's going on in our world. And everybody everybody's aware and is aware that it's like doomsday according to the Bible. um you know the whole thing with the Mayan calendar and everything's lining up, the planets are like, everybody acknowledges that. So if you can acknowledge that and you have comprehension of divine and the lower realms, demons and spirits, and then I try to get their minds to wrap around like lower energy, demonic entities, spirits, attachments, hauntings that relate all around the globe, not just in our area or just our own stories. They're a bunch of people's stories. With the native race, not to hold that clutch of residential and the impact stories and the impact situations that we might have been brought into as children, the beliefs behind it and how they're not ours. And I just get like emptiness. I could see it in the eye, right? So, anyways, today, for instance, is my Cookum's funeral. We lost my Cookum last week, like on Thursday or Friday. I can't really recall when my Auntie Marie called me, and I can't attend it today. I couldn't even go pay my last respects, just because I live too far from where it is, and my old man works, and I don't drive. I don't have a vehicle, so unfortunately I can't make it. So, which brought me down, where I was really depressed, wanting to numb out with substance. Not gonna lie, I felt like it. I did get high. And then instantly I felt like, why am I taking back steps instead of walking forward, right? So anyway, I was in bed, like stuck in my room, chasing everybody, anyone that came to me, like basically just laying there with my headphones, my eyes closed, not paying attention, acting like I was unaware that they were there just so they could leave quickly, which is like, yeah, I know, ignorant, but whatever. Like, I just needed to cope. Like, I lost so many loved ones, friends and family in the last, like, I'd say 15 years that it's took a really toll on me, right? So anyway, my epiphany was, David Wilcock was talking about, like the whole spiritual realms and stuff, right? And then, so anyway, like, if we're all vibration and energy of the divine, I am the creator. And if we're all a part of that, and the whole reincarnations coming back into the lower realms, 3D density material worlds, and like reliving out another life. And then I started thinking about the metaphors and the epiphanies behind the metaphors, like, till we see each other again. It's not good to cry at funerals. You're supposed to celebrate the one's life that they had on earth. And it's supposed to be a joyous time, right? Because they get to connect back up with the divine. So in this stew of thoughts, I realized, Amanda, you don't need to feel this big empty void, feeling so down and out, right? Like, this is like why we're here on earth, is to go through the struggle so we can mend ourselves and become strong, learn from our lessons, and hopefully have strength after it, or create like a new reality for ourselves. Because for me, it was a big slap in the face when my mom passed away. My mom was a big part of my life, that played a big part of my life. I always had a job. I always worked. I had my first son at 26. My mom was there to support me by being my childcare. My set of twins came along 3 years after that, and my mom was there to provide childcare. So any job that I had, no matter where it was, my mom was always there. I could count on her. So after I lost her, not even a year later, and like what I wanted to do, like, I was a youth worker for 9 years in a reservation, working at 2 group homes amongst 18 children. And I loved it. It was fun. It was great. And then I had an opportunity, because with my mom passing away, I felt really backstepped with crack cocaine, right? And I was numbing myself, distracting myself with that. Just hold on. So anyway, I thought my son was coming in my room. We better not, I guess, shy recording in front of my kids. But anyway, so back to my story. Michelle, my best friend, who's like my sister, right? She was my first cousin, but she was more like a sister to me. She was like, Amanda, I'm worried about you, and I think you should come to Buffalo Lake. I'll help you. We'll have, like, think of it like a rehab, she said. And like, she was my next rock. My mom and her were my rocks. And I was like, yeah, okay, I could do this, right? Like, I had my twin brothers under my care at the time too. They were going to be graduating grade 12, and they wanted to graduate back home in their old school. So I'm like, took it as an opportunity. And all of a sudden, what plays into my life? A job of becoming a teacher amongst little guys, like Head Start, like preschool. And I got the job. And it was like so perfect. Like, I just never thought I'd ever become a teacher and be able to teach little guys, you know. So I was really excited. But unfortunately, Michelle took her life. Like, the first day I was supposed to be a functioning teacher, which, okay, brought me back to my backstepping and falling really flat-faced to the ground with addiction. And if I would have been where I was now, then, believe me, things would have been so different. But, you know, nothing happens for nothing. Like, nothing's an accident. Like, everything happens for a reason. And so, with that being said, it took me up until, like, pretty much last year, 2 years ago, is when I started straightening out my life. Like, trying to get my feet back grounded onto the earth, trying to find some kind of, like, refuge, you know, for myself, because I lost myself completely. Like, we moved from where we were to the city. Within like a couple of months of being here in Edmonton, and talk about law of attraction, right? Because I was living amongst like, lower vibing people, like doing lower vibing things. Because when you're an addict, you don't exactly surround yourself with the abundance of life that you could have. So with that being said, anyway, long story short, I ended up wrong place, wrong time, got my face smashed with a machete, broke my joint, and my jaw cracked it right in half on this one side. It's kind of the reason why I lost my tooth too. But anyways, so I fell really heavy into addiction with Dilly 8s, which is a type of painkiller prescribed by a doctor who obviously wasn't a very good doctor because he didn't give a shit when he gave me these pills. I was on these pills for like 2.5 years, still dabbling with crystal meth as well. Started injecting myself with the pills just so that they would have a fast reaction to my body. Like the minute I pumped it in my vein, boom, I felt it. Yeah, with that being said, I didn't abuse it by doing more than one, but I abused it by combining street drug with that drug. And it was kind of like the worst thing I could have did to myself, because with the doctors and the pharmacy whole industry, when I had no more medical care for prescriptions coverage, I was cut off. The doctor I was seeing actually was getting charged for mispracticing his use of doctoring people with, like, giving out too much meds to people. And it got him in trouble. And the pharmacy guy. So there I was, cold turkey, having to face quitting. Because to buy this shit on the street, it was $25 to $30 a pill, man. And I was getting from the pharmacy, like, I was getting Dilly 2s and Dilly 4s. I was getting 3 Dilly 4s and 1 Dilly 2, plus a Mogadon, which is a sleeping pill, plus Ativan, which is an anxiety pill, plus a Gravol to help my stomach, because my stomach is going to obviously be all twisted with all this junk inside of me, causing constipation, stomach aches and stuff. Plus there was other pills like Gabby's, and I'm talking in a daily pack. This is only for one day, all this pills, right? It ended up being like 300 pills a month, or maybe more. I think it was 300 a month. Anyways, with that being said, I wasn't popping all those pills though. Like, believe me, I just took what I knew and what I wanted from the packages, kind of thing. And just kind of, if somebody wanted whatever I had, I would just give them, right? I didn't care. Anyway, and unaware what was happening. So I had to quit cold turkey, which I had to come face to face with the shakes, the sweats, the body aches, the sweating, the dehydration. I just about died. Like, honestly, almost died. Like, I'll get into that maybe in another story. Or I might as well just say it now. Tell you guys the whole little gist of, like, the whole addiction era. So, anyway, okay. The first time I died using drugs. I'm talking about dead. No pulse, no heart pumping, dead. I had to get shocked back to life. And if it wasn't for this group home girl, she's a young adult now, living here in the city. If it wasn't for her, I would have been not here right now. The people that were driving my vehicle at the time were freaking out, because the driver of the vehicle was supposed to be selling me what I thought was heroin, but it wasn't heroin. It was fentanyl. And I snorted it. Let's say within a 10-minute, not even drive, I was already blue in the face, foaming at the mouth, not breathing. The people that were in my vehicle, besides the girl, were driving me in the opposite direction of the hospital. The girl that was in my vehicle started freaking out and threatened to go to the cops. So that's how I ended up at the hospital. Got revived. So that was number one time, because I altogether 3 times OD'd where I died. Well, second time I could have died. I can't really say I died, but I felt like I was going to die. So the second time, this is when I just ran out of those pills, right? Like, I didn't realize, like, the toll it would have on my body. So I ran out of my prescription. I thought, okay, whatever. I see the doctor like in a few days. It's not a big deal. Well, let me tell you, within like 2 days, I was sick. I was so sick. I was so sick. I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't even bring myself to the damn bathroom. Like, that's how sick I was. Thank God for my late sister-in-law, Rhonda, who unfortunately passed away like a year ago, a couple years ago now. That's a whole different story for a whole different video. But anyway, so she called 911. I got ambulance to the hospital. Got a big ass needle, stabbed me in the stomach with Gravol, stabbed me in the stomach with the dilly pill. The doctor came to me the next day when I was feeling better and could understand without, because I wasn't really being aware because I was in so much pain and focused on how shitty I was feeling. I wouldn't have probably even wrapped my head around what he was telling me. So anyway, he came to me the next day. They kept me in the hospital for 2 days. He said I was suffering with severe dehydration because being that sick, I wasn't thinking to drink and keep myself, hydrated. So anyway, he said, if you didn't make it here by that night of me being at home, I would have died at home with dehydration, which is pretty damn scary. Wouldn't have ever thought, right? So now coming on to the third time. This is messing around with heroin. As I mentioned earlier, I was injecting. A roommate of mine got my rig ready, wasn't thinking much, gave it to myself, felt extreme warmth and comfort and relaxation, just laid forward on my bed, never got back up. Real stupid. Of course, I'm unaware of all of this. Didn't get back up. My roommate's cousin came into the room, woke him up because he was nodded out. And then she's like, is Amanda okay? She realized like I wasn't breathing. So I get flipped over. Sure enough, no pulse, no breathing, no heart, right? So he starts CPRing me, slapping me out, CPRing, slapping me out for 20 minutes. 20 minutes it took him to get me awake and revived. Me still being incoherent of what just took place, I ended up, I guess, getting up, talking some like gibberish shit, went back to sleep. But I guess my sister Rhonda was monitoring me through the night, or some point of the night. And then I remember waking up, felt like my chest was broken, had no hearing in my ear. When got my son, went back to sleep with him. So this is coming to the end of the era with the really extreme drug use, well, with heroin and with the pills. Anyway, it was about maybe 4 days after that when I realized from hearing from Marcus what happened, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I did that. Couldn't believe I put him through that. I couldn't believe I would have did that to my own kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid, so stupid. And then we were moving from one place to another place within the city, and that's when my medication got cut off. And I swear to you that coming off those pills was worse than coming off that heroin. It was way, 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 way worse. So why I'm bringing this up is because the hold, if you're not strong enough and you don't have a strong enough willpower, and I guess mentality, or it could be spirit, obviously giving me the strength to overcome this, because I put it in my mind, right? I was already dabbling with the law of attraction, like educating myself on it. And it's like your mind is a powerful tool. Like, you create what you want with your mind, right? So I didn't even know the whole like rules and regulations of the universe or anything yet, are really feeling aligned with the spirit. But anyway, so one day I was laying in my tub, and like, I swear to God, like, I was still struggling with like the chills, feeling like after effects, like as if I just used. But I noticed that only happens like when I come face to face with aggression, when I'm like arguing or yelling or anything. Like, I guess my adrenaline, what I'm trying to say, I notice when my adrenaline rises, the afterplay of that is like as if I just came off of trip, just like as if I just finished using. And I get the chills where my feet can't warm up, my legs can't warm up, my back, my hands, like it sucks, right? So I don't know if that's going to be an ongoing thing. I sure hope not. But anyways, why I'm getting all into this whole addiction thing is because with my friends relaying back to me that they lost their mom or lost their best friend or lost their cousin or lost their brother or lost their sister or lost their mom or lost their dad or grandparents or whatever, right? I'm just going to address about the death part. I'll address trauma on another video, but anyway, with me being saying like I was in my bed depressed about my granny and coming aware that like about us all our spirit, our soul can't die. Because like, okay, I was telling a couple of my friends and I could tell that they didn't understand. Hopefully, maybe I planted a seed where they will realize what I was meaning. Okay, so with me saying that, and with the metaphors of until we see each other again, or you get greeted by your family when you pass away, all the loved ones that passed on, right? So, like, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? So, we sit here on earth. So, basically, we're grieving for the loss of ourselves, for the empty void of that person. But what's that emptiness, that pain and that suffering that we don't, or that we feel that we don't have in our life? Is like the contact with our spirit, being contact, like we have to be connected to our spirit, our higher selves, to the realm, to the, you know what I'm saying, people? Like, we can't sit here and like make up these stories in our minds that, oh well, like ever since my mom passed away. I could be saying that story still. Like, I'm not saying my life is like 2020 here. It's not 1010. It's not doing that great. Like, well, it's doing better than before, but I mean, like, I could do better, and which I will be doing better, and which I'm trying to get to that point, right? And like, I can't express the fear of death. Like, people fear death. People are scared when other people are sick and you know that they might not make it, and then you build up this fear. Is it of them dying? Or is it the fear of yourself, of what are you going to do with yourself after they're gone, right? What I'm saying? And like, honestly, people, like, you got to come into mind with this, of the fact that, like, we all will be connected again. If you align yourself and lead a healthy life through love and compassion, have empathy, have a big heart, come from a loving place, you will be connected to that realm while you're here on earth in the physical. I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm not there yet. I never contacted or, any of them yet. But I have it in my heart. Like I said, my granny's funeral's just today, people. And I just realized this a couple of days ago, that I strongly believe, I don't have hard evidence or anything to show you proof of, but I'm telling you, by using addictions, is keeping you at a lower vibration. Using addictions, drugs, is part of the agenda of the elites, of the occult. You got to keep in mind, like, how the hell do drugs constantly, you guys must have come across videos where police officers are telling you that they cleaned up gangs, members, drug dealers, they're cleaning it up. But yet the drugs are still there. The amount of the drugs in the cities, in the towns, or wherever are just as much as it was before they were saying they were cleaning up the streets. You got to have an understanding and wake up and see that not all the programming with the police, with like, there's shady people everywhere with the cops. I'm not saying all cops, but a lot of cops are shady. They plant these things in our lives to keep us dumbed down, keep our vibration, our energy lowered, to keep the veil over our faces so we don't see what's what. And we don't have much time to wake up. And I'm not sure if everybody's going to be able to be saved that are still physical in this realm or not. I'm not sure what the end game is or how it's going to be played out. But I know that our sun's going to be doing a thing where it gives off all this energy. And I know if you're not coming from a loving, compassionate place, there might not be a place for you in the new earth. That's what I'm starting to think, but I'm not even sure. I'm actually trying to just I'm coming from a loving place, people. I'm not trying to push fear on you, because the struggle is real, and that's basically why I make these videos. Like, I want to try to reach out to as many people as I can, and if you need support or need guidance or just want to know some information or just want to hear stuff, come to my channel and listen. But I just want people to be aware of the choices they're making, because the thoughts that we have and with the emotion that we carry, we create our realities, and your reality isn't going to change unless you change your mindset and start living from your spirit, from the spirit side of your mind, like your conscious mind. Be conscious aware of everything that you do, I guess I'm trying to say. But with that being said, bye and namaste.